They can't leave He-Man well enough alone, and the Eternals dropped a final trailer this morning on Midnight's Edge of the Morning. It's Friday. I don't know what that means other than it's the end of another week. A lot of people's kids started school this week. So there's that. Outside of that, there isn't much going on outside of some new trailers dropping, right, Andre?
Yeah, it's been a very, very slow news week. Let's put it that. Well, that's actually not true. It's been a very big news week. But in terms of the world of entertainment,
yeah, I was just going to say
it's been a very, very slow news week.
Historically, it's been a pretty strange week.
Historically, it's been a history-altering disaster week. But yeah. But in terms of pop culture entertainment, I think that the biggest takeaway we have this week, honestly, is Kevin Feige coming out to try to restrict the damage of the Shang-Chi star speaking out of turn and taking on Bob Chapek. And then we had the trailer for the Eternals, which I have to say I think is weird timing to drop that shortly before the release of Shang-Chi, but
I would, because it'll be attached to Shang-Chi, but you could be right that they dropped it a little bit early just to kind of take some attention off of
I know, but think about it. I mean, how amazing would that be? Like, for instance, you could have like two reasons to go see Shang-Chi in theaters. You could because you have like 45 degrees where Shang-Chi is in theaters only, right? What if to provide an extra incentive for the first 2-3 days, you can only see the Eternals trailer in theaters before they drop it online?
That may have very well been the case or the plan, but I think Simu, how do you say his name? Simu, the star of Shang-Chi. Yeah. Since he spoke out, I think that kind of changed plans a little bit. And
why did that affect the Eternals?
Because I think you're right. I think it was more so to distract from this other business. And to kind of hype up, that there's another Marvel movie on the way afterwards.
That's freaking lame.
Honestly, I think
there's plenty enough to distract from that in the news otherwise.
I'll tell you this much, Andre. I think that him speaking out like that and Kevin Feige's reaction to it, however you want to put it, I think that is a little bit more confirmation on what you've been reporting with Cameron and Script Doctor and stuff like that. I think that was showing the hand a little too much. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think they're like, whoa, we got to back off a little bit here. This is getting too obvious.
Probably. But speaking of that, we got to back off a little bit too, and we have to say hi to our audience.
We do indeed. We got a little ahead of ourselves.
That is watching us today. Yeah, we just got a little bit ahead because ahead. I have to specify that ahead of ourselves. That almost came out wrong because we were a little bit late today, as per usual, casually late. But our guests had to reschedule in the last moment, so we do apologize for that. But hey, we're going to keep you entertained. We're going to have loads of fun with every one of you who are here. We have more than 300 watching us so far. So everyone, please smash that like, smash it as it was. You figure something out. Just smash it and help share the link and all of that jazz. And yeah, George Anderson also points out the show must go on. Yes, indeed, it must. And we have Too Much 77 who says, "Hail Midnight's Edge." And we have SSJ3 Jack Bowers says, "Hi from Saudi Arabia."
Oh, wow.
Well,
hello.
Hi, Saudi Arabia. Awesome to have you here. We also have Super S-J2 who says, "Like Hulk Smash." Yes, Hulk Smash that like button.
Yeah, we also have some regulars like Rob Altus and Stephanie Janicek, and Six is in the chat this morning. Hello, Six. We got Sailor Sonic and Arasaka. John Connors is here, the John Connors.
Yeah. And STR Red Wolf also points out for $5, thank you so much, "Smash like button like Hulk. No smash Tom's computer."
Or as Hulk says, don't kick stuff, just smash like button.
Yeah. And Tom's computer manages to smash itself all on its own all the time. So, yeah.
Honestly,
need any kind of,
I don't think
help.
it's so much the computer. I think it's just, the endless updates from Windows. I truly do. It's because it never seems.
Smash Windows updates.
I'm serious, because it works fine for a couple days, note, and then all of a sudden, as soon as there's an update, then it's
But that's what the updates are all about. It's about creating more drivel to make your computers go out of date, so you have to buy a new one. But anyway, and then we also have Neil is in the chat. Neil, how are you?
How you doing?
Everything is awesome.
Yeah,
he says it's nice to hear from Billy. It's nice to hear from you as well. All is awesome.
Been a while. I think I saw you last night in the MEIT chat, though, which is a first time I seen you in there for a while, too. So glad to see you around. But we got Rory, and we got quite a few others in the chat. Thank you so much for being here.
Nicholas Horton, who says, "Hail, Andre and Tom." Indeed, Rob Altus is here. We also got a couple of other super chats. Someone who we really will be missing today is our good friend Mike the Mexican Iron Man, who says, for $20, stuck at office helping clients with SBA loan deadlines, but listening in. Netflix, strike 1 on Revelation, strike 2 on Comic Book Skeletor, and this trailer is strike 3. Netflix is out of here. Have a great show and go get him, gents. Oh, thank you, Mike. Also, for Mike's take on the trailers that we'll be talking about today, go check out the epic show over on Midnight's Edge After Dark last night. All the guys there were on fire. So, yeah, for some pretty hefty sharing of feelings, do check that out. Then let's see what else we have here before we get into the show proper. Cross Socks says hail for $4.99. Oh, and we have Tadia Tiberius Merk, joint friend of ourselves and Robert Meyer Burnett, and fellow countryman of mine, who says, "Hey man, I really loved Revelations, and I'm an old school guy. This new series, though, looks so ADHD, I'm almost afraid to show it to my 6-year-old.
Here's my question. Just go ahead and at me in the chat. You don't have to send us another super chat, but I'm just curious, how did you even get past the fact of how they destroyed Tila's character? Right, like on top of everything else, I'm just curious how people who can enjoy this show.
Well, if he enjoyed it, he enjoyed it.
Well, no. I'm just curious how you got past that, because that's the one thing I can't understand when people are like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm an old school fan." It's like I can understand somebody who's like, "I enjoyed it," and I'm like, "Well, are you a fan of He-Man?" Not really. Then I'm like, "Okay, I get it." Like you have no attachment to the original series, right? Like. But I'm just curious. Just let me know. I'm not going to pick on you or nothing. I'm just curious. Let me know how you got past that in your head canon, because I just can't.
And speaking of comments like that, Eric Kelly also wonders, Andre, how did you find that Flash Gits He-Man skit with everyone's crying man, Kevin Smith?
Favorite crying man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Tom, you have to help me out here. Flash Gits He-Man.
No idea.
You have to help me out here, because
this is the first time hearing Eric. I'm not sure what he means. What do you mean?
Honestly, I'm unsure what you mean.
Yeah.
You have to help us point that out.
Or DM me whatever it is on Twitter or something. Because
I'm very happy to tell you how I found whatever, but I have to know what it is I'm supposed to say, and I'm drawing blanks right now.
That's the first time. Flash Gits. I'll look it up. Yeah. This better not be porn.
Maybe less of that now with only.
Okay, I've seen this floating around, but I haven't actually seen it. I think.
Oh, maybe he meant how did I find, as in what's my opinion of, and not how I found it.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, I haven't even seen it. I don't know what you.
Okay, I'll send it to you. It's kind of like a robot chicken kind of thing.
Okay. Meanwhile, Gundam Warrior 1 says for $5, Mattel says, or thinks the fans look unhappy. Netflix, add more pointless and convoluted multiverses to justify our bad writing. Yeah, you can hide everything in a multiverse. Like if something screwed up, it's just a different part of the multiverse. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit lazy too. And Stephen Otten says, Hail Andre, Tom, Wrenches, and chat. I don't think we can consider anything Disney does as planned. Well, actually, I think we can consider it planned. We just don't necessarily have to consider it well planned. And that's the operator we're looking for there. And yeah, we got this one. Smash that like button. Always
did we get this one,
like button. No, we didn't. Headless Prime, it says, for £2. Why have they got to destroy stuff I grew up on?
Well, we're going to get into that.
Because they enjoy watching you squirm.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, and I'm not even joking. If you look on Twitter and stuff like that, you have like so many people that say that I don't care about He-Man, never did, but I do care about the tears of toxic white men. So I'm a fan of anything that will make them upset.
Very true.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that absolutely is a factor here.
There you go.
And
then Darius Munchausen, I believe, sent us a sticker of popcorn, if I have to take a guess.
Yes, we can find that out. And meanwhile, Tarje Tiberius Mörk, he followed up. So why don't deal with that one? Well, I go and find the classic super chats before we get into...
Tila's in love with He-Man. When she finds out Adam and he is the same person, she almost feels catfished. Think all the combos of how much she digs He-Man.
Well, you can read it, so the rest of us just listening can understand it too. But
all right, I guess that's a. I disagree, but
well, but that's the beauty. We can all have different opinions.
Yeah. We got Diego hanging out today, who says, like I explained yesterday, the new CGI is a bloody Power Rangers season 1. Wait till it starts, and I start the reviews, and I'm going to show how it is, and that it clearly is built and based on kids' watch data.
Yeah, okay, cool. Diego, hop on in later and explain it to everyone again. You're probably completely right. So yeah, come and join us afterwards as we go through that. And then, meanwhile, going back to the classics, who's at the mall out shopping, and that is cool because you have to go out to the mall and do some shopping, so don't worry about it. She says, hi gents, hello everyone, with a diamond sticker and a smiley. And Kenneth LaRock sent us $5 Canadian, just a little help with the lights. Oh, thank you. I mean, it'll soon be getting dark in Norway, so really appreciate that. And then we have Grassox, who says, hail, Darius Munchausen did indeed send a popcorn super sticker. And then Dash Attack says for $9.99. Hail, gang. Thematically, I think this show is going to be better than Revelations. Teela, a girl again. He-Man is the main character. It looks like one of those Transformers or TMNT reboots you see. And yeah, we're going to discuss that before. That don't make it okay. Here.
In fact, that doesn't help at all. Because I've hated every TMNT remake.
We're dealing with a fan base scorned right now. So yeah. And Johnny GTO says for $4.99, I'm here to Andre say doggy super sticker and hail. So yeah.
I see he's got a little doggy dressed like a sheriff or something like that on his icon, or is it? Oh, it's a little sombrero. That's what it is. Okay. It looked like a little badge there because of the collar.
Well, I think it's a doggy with a sombrero.
Yeah, it's a doggy with a little, but I thought he was like dressed like a sheriff at first because I thought the tag was like a sheriff's badge, but looking closer now because it's so small.
Yeah. And Nicholas Horton also points out that the concept art for this CGI He-Man show looks more like Motu than the final designs seen in the trailer. And yeah, I completely agree with that.
Which it unfortunately looks almost exactly nothing like.
Kind of, yeah. But before that, I mean, that's what everyone actually does care about. And that's something I find interesting because yesterday 2 trailers dropped. It was the He-Man trailer, which is getting loads and loads of attention for all the wrong reasons, but it is getting loads of attention. And to me, that's actually really positive because that only goes to show that people really care about the He-Man brand, which is something I'm really, really happy about. But the other trailer that dropped yesterday was Marvel's Eternals trailer. And I don't see that creating any buzz to speak about anywhere. In fact, it creates so little buzz, I'm going to do this super chat here first. Bogdan Florin says for £5, I like it how these companies pander to the SJW loonies and then are shocked no one cares for their future release. People vote with their wallet. Yeah, indeed, they kind of do. As well they should. And Omni Hexagon says for $10, I'm guardedly optimistic about the show. Ram Mam is a strange choice, but the animation looks pretty good and is definitely a kid's show, rather than a show for adults that are mentally children. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But in the meantime...
Wait, is that last part like a jab at fans?
Yeah, it's kind of a jab. This is why I'm like saying, we'll get into that.
Yeah, if you're gonna take a jab at me, at least you pay me for it.
Yeah, so yeah, kudos for that. Then it's then we will take that jab. So
it hurts a little less.
Yeah.
But let's start with the Eternals, since there's like.
Yeah. Oh, and before that, Samoan Pirate wonders, what the hell? Why did it unsubscribe me?
Welcome to YouTube.
If I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but if you suddenly found that you have been suspiciously unsubscribed from Midnight's Edge, well, you can rest assured that you probably didn't do it because you would have remembered we certainly didn't do it. So then it's this platform, because sometimes they send out these bots to remove inactive users and stuff like that.
Well,
like fake bot accounts. And sometimes their bots that do that get a little bit overzealous. So everyone should check that they are still subscribed. And you'll be surprised at how active users tend to be the ones that do get unsubscribed.
That's not true. We just decided we had more than enough pirates around here. We don't need any more, and we unsubscribed you. No, I'm kidding, because of course we have no power to do that, even if we want.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, exactly. We can't even do that. Bogdan even said, I subbed to Midnight's Edge 3 times now.
It's like a game YouTube's playing with people, right? It's like, make sure you got all your subs.
Oh, yeah, and Omni Hexagon, he points out for another...
Oh, okay. You didn't have to do that, man.
You didn't have to do that. It was fine. Like, so everyone lay off Omni Hexagon. It was just like bad wording. It's cool, man. Don't worry. And if it had been a job, we could have taken it. But, yeah. It's all good, man. Don't worry.
Trust me, I've had a lot worse flung at me.
Now, Hypergiver 2 says, can we just send all of Hollywood a photo of SCP-096? I honestly have no idea.
I'll look that up, but he looks so angry at that coffee.
Yeah, well, maybe there's SCP-096 in it, whatever that may be. But anyway,
SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately. It's wow. What? It's a creature. Like it's a humanoid creature.
Okay, there we have it. Humanoid creature. Something that deserves
also known as the Shy Guy.
Ah, okay. It's Bogdan Florin who just sent us £100.
Whoa.
Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that. And he says, Midnight's Edge, you, Yellow Flash, and Doomcock are fighting the good fight. Never stop fighting. We never will. And the reason we won't is because of people like you and everyone else of you here in the chat that are here, you support us, you share the stream, you engage with us and with each other in this community. and you send the support to help us keep the lights on. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that.
Yes, very much.
And then also Diego Flores, he has some more details.
Yeah.
SCP is a fan-made universe around a unit that contains aliens and alien pathogen. What the Diego does not know. There we go.
He's a wealth of knowledge. Hey, let's see here. Whoa, we got Paulie trying to come in here, but his audio and stuff isn't correct. Oh, here he is. Give him a second here. So yeah, we'll have Paulie hopping in here in just a moment. I saw another comment here I wanted to highlight. Now I lost it. Dang nabbit. See, he says he's all the pirate you need. Well, you're gonna have to fight Jesse. We're gonna have to have tryouts then. Because he'll be like, there's only one room enough for one pirate around here.
We're going to have tryouts then. May the better pirate wins.
That's what I said. We'll have tryouts.
Yeah. But Paulie looks...
he looks ready? All right. Ready now. Welcome, Paulie. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning. What's up, fellas?
Not much. Unfortunately, our guest wasn't feeling too well, but we're glad to have you here. And it's been a while since we've had you on the morning show. How you been?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, things are pretty good. I don't know if the dryers is
just a few tippity taps in the background. Not too bad.
Let me kill it. I'll be right back.
No problem. Yeah. There was another comment I wanted to highlight, and I hate that when these go by so fast.
Well, while you look for that, Trenchman says
yes.
For $4.99. I see zero issue with new He-Man here, as long as it's fun and shows courage and compassion to children instead of SJW hatred the other one did. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Trenchman. I'm in 100% agreement. Thank you. We need that kind of positivity and hope.
I wanted to be positive.
We'll get into it, but as long as the show can do that and it can transmit those values, I don't know that it will be able to. But if it can do that, I'm willing to forgive a lot, because that's something that is sorely needed in children's entertainment right now. And with that, Paulie, yes, how are things?
Good, nice and active and busy. There's 2 killer shows that we had this week on Midnight's Edge Espanol.
Yeah, they were amazing, both.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you hosted the Tuesday, which I really appreciated. In these times, I can't say no to side jobs.
Well, when you have other stuff that come in the way, of course, we're a team here, so we back each other whenever it's necessary. But let's try to get into the main topic of today, which 20 minutes into the show we really haven't gotten into yet. But today we're talking about 2 trailers. There's one that everyone cares about, although for the wrong reasons, and that would be the new He-Man trailer. And then there's the one that I'm sure Disney and Marvel would have liked everyone to care about, but from what I can see, no one really cares all that much. I mean, as I was like tweeting out of like this show, it was really difficult to find like the correct Eternals hashtag. Didn't like pop up instantly or anything, so I just don't see that interest there. Paulie, what did you think of the second Eternals trailer?
Okay, like you want the positive Paulie, or you want the Midnight's Edge?
Well, how about I give my positive feedback for the trailer, and then Paulie can jump off from there. It has Selma Hayek in it.
I think you probably picked the
I have nothing else.
I mean, there was a couple of cool, little actiony moments. With the.
Okay, I'll be honest. We did get at least a little bit of a story in this trailer, maybe.
I mean,
more of the story.
I've already forgotten what the trailer. I mean. So the positive is it looks beautiful again, and Salma looks incredible. But and is it Kit Harington? This character has got the lasers.
So.
That his character. I mean, those little fights seem pretty cool. Everything else is like a blur, so that can't be good for me. But what I don't get also too. Is it was released yesterday morning, right?
Yeah.
today, speaking of Salma Hayek, today, Tom, is National Latina Day. It should have come out today.
You see,
That's a
they
good
can't even
point.
do that right.
They
And
couldn't even. I mean, there would have been a little something there. I mean, because I'm seeing posts now of Salma all day long today, not because of that movie, but because of National Latina Day.
Gotcha. I just want to say real quick though, we got a new member. Simone Pilot says, I unsubbed and changed my membership. Maybe that is a general Google issue. We could try it, see if it helps. So you were so wait, it unsubbed you when you were actually a member? That's interesting if that's true. But no, there
was someone's page. There was someone's page that I like one of our big friend page, like a Yellow Flash or somebody where I went to it and I was unsubbed. I'm like, no.
Oh, the best day was when I come to Midnight's Edge and I got unsubbed from Midnight's Edge.
Yeah, how amazing is that? Tom, Midnight's Edge, unsubbed from Midnight's Edge. That's
we have another guest with us though. Speaking of Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge Espanol, member of our Espanol team, Diego, is here this morning. How you doing?
Oh,
hello. How is everybody doing?
We're doing okay.
Dieguito.
I mean, awesome now when we have an awesome team here today. Now we are absolutely where we can start talking some cool trailers and everything. Just to get caught up quickly. Trenchman wonders, Andre, can you do an Evangelion retrospective? I don't think so. I would be the wrong person. I only do retrospectives on movies and properties that I'm really passionate about, because there's a lot of work that goes into those things. Not necessarily.
He's got to listen to me gripe,
and I have to really know that property to be able to take that retrospective. I call them the ultimate retrospectives, and I do that because I fully intend them to be. This is the definitive you're going to find. I can't do that for
the exception
Evangelion because I don't really know anything about it.
I was gonna say the exception is if we have somebody on the crew who's really into it and they are willing to do it.
Well, if Diego can do the best
exactly.
Go for it.
I will put this way: I have watched the entire series, including the alternate endings and 3 of the 4 movies.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I had no idea there was that much. But again, that's the first thing. That's a requirement, and I don't even know anything about it.
But like a good example,
you can write the best Evangelion retrospective on the internet. Go for it.
Like the only time, like the very rare occasions I can think of where we've talked about doing retrospectives that Andre has very little to add to is like Highlander. And that's the only, maybe Ninja Turtles are the only 2 times we've talked about it where he's like, yeah, they're not my thing,
Yeah. So we can do them, we'll host them, but I can't be the one doing them.
But we'll definitely put that on the list, and if Diego is the man for that job, I guess we'll see, huh?
Yeah. So then Diego can do it. And also, Roar.
How do you say that?
Roar is the first name, and the surname that's either Røk or Rush. I'm honestly a little bit unsure myself. I think
it looks like Rock on our
right. That's
and that's a Norwegian name, and he sends a super sticker for 14 Norwegian krona. So tusen takk. Really appreciate that as well. With that, now when we do have the full team here, let us try to get into affairs here. Polly, let's begin with you, and then we'll have Diego's take afterwards on the Eternals trailer.
Yeah, we're just getting started on that,
Yeah, so we already have the positive. Salma Hayek was in it, but that's kind of counted by them releasing it one day too soon and missing her birthday. Outside of Salma Hayek and all the positives that are with that, what did you think about the trailer? And you don't have to be negative just to be negative, just be yourself. What do you think about it? Be Sen.
Yeah, it's just there's no connection for me to see it. Like for Shang-Chi, I want to see it, especially after the second trailer. This almost seems like a Marvel movie for 60 and above. a softer, gentler MCU. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, all right.
Are you saying it's? I don't even know how to take that, to be honest. I mean, I get
I'm
what
not
you're
trying
saying.
to be offensive, dude.
No.
Right?
I get what
No,
you're
I'm not
saying,
saying
but I'm trying to like.
Yeah, reword it.
Not so much reword it, but trying to get what you're saying, because I do get it, but I'm like trying to place it in the. Yeah, continue. My bad.
No. That I think that's just it. Is that it? You know, it seems like so much more mainstream accessible that it's trying not to be a superhero movie. It's trying to be more of a, this deep, essay on
You know what it looked like to me?
on the universe. It's just like it's almost like it was a Zen book, like a Zen book of fiction or something.
Kind of reminded me more of a soap opera, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all I got. I mean, and then
somebody cut that trailer to the
comedy
theme
at the
of
end was
as the
horrible.
world turns, and we'll see how it looks.
That would be funny. Yeah.
It'll sound like Selma Hayek and Thanos used to date, and they're not getting along anymore, and her evil twin sister killed somebody. I don't know. I'm just making shit up here.
Well, if it is going after the female audience, and then it's definitely, because I did see a few female film critics just going lunatic mad over it, and I'm just like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh no. Well,
Yeah,
speaking of female film critics going mad, they all go mad for this man's hair. We have the one, the only Culture Casino in the house. How you doing?
Greetings, gentlemen. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. I'm not sure I deserved it, but there were a remarkable number of people touching my hair in Vegas. So,
ew.
The man with the mane.
Yeah, but here's I was listening to you guys. I've been doing some work stuff, but I just when you say mad, Paulie, were they mad as in angry, or mad they were goo goo gaga for the trailer?
No, goo goo gaga.
Oh wow.
No, not mad, and
Yeah.
and I actually value this one filmmaker, film critic's opinion on a lot of movies. She's keyed me into some, so I don't know whether she was just doing it because of the virtue signaling in the trailer, but I'm just like I tend to roll my eyes at some of the stuff she likes, but that's okay. I don't need
Oh, that's all right. Like everyone has a different opinion and a different preference. That's cool. That's the beauty.
Yeah. Grad Admiral Adam here though brings up an interesting question. What is greater, Culture Casino's hair or Nerdrotic's beard? It's one is like the Ark of the Covenant, the other is like the Holy Grail. Okay, they're equally important in the Grand Pantheon.
Here's my opinion on that. Culture could grow a Nerdrotic beard. Nerdrotic could not grow a Culture head of hair.
You sure? That might be a challenge for both of them.
Wow.
You know?
The bearded man has an amazing beard. I'm not sure I could do what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he has that professionally maintained. Of course, his professional lives with him, so that's a little easier. But
maintained.
Yeah. It looks great. I'll just say that they're separate but equal. How about that?
Separate but equal. Like I said, one's like the Ark of the Covenant, the other's like the Holy Grail. You can't.
I'm not sure I could grow a beard like that. He that's a lot of discipline. My beard, when it grows, it gets. But I appreciate that vote of confidence, Polly.
Well, I'm just saying, like on a hair thing, and we'll get off your hair.
Yeah. Oh no.
After this, but you have the power to grow. I don't know if Gary's hair can. I can't grow your hair.
Well, yeah.
I could give you a run for the beard though.
I'm sure you could.
Well, here's one thing about I'm surprised that women are actually gravitating towards this, because I would think they'd be more interested in it if it was more colorful, like Kirby meant it to be.
No. I think because of the celestial and the female leads, and then you have the eye candy of Kit.
Well, here's
Kit
my
eye
thing
candy?
though, and we brought this up last night, and then we can get Diego's take on it here. that's my thing. Is this is supposed to be Jack Kirby's baby? And after seeing Ragnarok, I don't care how you feel about the film. There's one thing I know I've heard nobody argue, and that is that the movie is clearly Kirby-esque, like in a sense of how it was designed and the cinematography and everything made it look like a Kirby comic come to life. Nobody can argue that point.
Yeah, no, just to be clear, this is Thor Ragnarok you're talking about.
Yeah. So why didn't they get the designer and the cinematographer for that to work here? Just like, do what you did there, but just do it here, because that's what this needs. This thing is it's a fucking dead fish. You could throw all the movie stars you want in it, but there's nothing really in this trailer to get me pulled in. Diego, I know we kind of got your take last night, but let's hear it now. How did you feel about the Eternals trailer?
As I said before, for me it was a bit boring. Okay, because as you said, this is supposed to be, Kirby's baby, and I heard a lot of channels talking about this movie about being, Kirby's like his own world, his own thing, and I researched a bit more just to understand what they meant about his designs. And then when I see this, I feel it's not a Marvel movie when I see it. I'm not saying that it's going to be good or bad. I'm just saying that at least for me, it's not a Marvel movie. It's more some avant-garde superhero take, or some kind of, take on celestial beings that come to Earth and try to protect humanity from one of the older sci-fi novels. I'm talking about like from the 60s and the 70s, that there were a bunch of novels that have that kind of themes to it. I felt more that than actually a Marvel universe thing. The only thing that really connects is that they mentioned Thanos and the snap. But if you take those things out, it really could be on its standalone movie outside the universe.
Yeah, I'm with Matthew here. It just looks like generic. I don't know if I can call it garbage yet, but it doesn't. Well, it's not got anything really to pull me in. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's because very generic. That's what that's what I was trying to get at. It's almost like, again, it's maybe they're trying to do their Logan without the creative guts and darkness of Logan, and they're almost trying to get a movie, a superhero movie made so it can be nominated for an Oscar. That's what this feels like.
A few people said that in the chat too, so maybe there's something to that.
Yeah,
you might be onto something there, Paulie. It does. With this caliber of cast, that's very plausible. Andre, I mean, I talked a little bit about it last night. So my basic is, it doesn't feel Kirby-esque. The movie could be good. It's definitely got a great cast involved for the most part. My only thing that I bitched about with the cast was, why would you hire a young kid like this, considering the movie was filmed 3 years ago? If that's a big if, they ever make a sequel to this, she's going to be like in her 30s by the time.
Well, are you sure you're not misgendering now? Because isn't this supposed to be so incredibly trans-friendly and inclusive that we can't assume anyone's gender here?
You could be right on that, but I'm talking about the young actor in the cast, okay? Because these are supposed to be Eternals. They're supposed to look like this forever. And for the most part, the cast is in the middle-ish, or a little bit older, to where you can fudge with their ages for a while. But the young actor in the cast,
10,000 years old, looks 12.
That's my point. And this is the problem we ran into with it. And this is what we brought up last night. Is why would you do this? Why don't you just find an actor who looks younger if you want to do that? Because by the time, if they ever make a sequel, it's going to be 5, 6, 7 years out from this first movie. Because they filmed this thing almost 3 years ago now. And I don't know what the actress looks like now, but I'm assuming she's a little bit older. And that's the thing, is they shoot up like stinkweeds at a certain point and start to develop and stuff, and they don't look young anymore. That's the problem we ran into with it. All those kids grew 10 feet between the movies, and it was really hard to hide.
It was kind of like that season of Cobra Kai in between 2 and 3.
Little bit when they tried to do no time jump, and then they had to do a time jump because otherwise, you're
Miguel's all swole.
I was gonna say, and what if this little girl dies at the end? And that's why they don't worry about it.
You had to get all morbid on us, didn't you, Diego?
You have to look out for Diego. I've noticed that. He's very sweet. Economist.
He fit in way too well on Mead last night. That is a little scary.
I heard. I need to see that one.
But I'm just saying, because I'm thinking about it this way. Maybe we're giving them little credit on maybe planning out some things, right? And they bring a character, and they know they're going to eliminate a few of them just so there's a smaller cast that they can manage if there's ever a sequel. I'm doing this more like seeing in the terms of resources, time, and managing. So
that's like a very minor thing, right? And it was just a point we were making. But no, I just don't. I get the story they're trying to tell to a point here, but why should I care? I guess is my big question. Andre, we haven't heard how you feel about this trailer yet. What did you think?
A couple of things. First, story-wise, if we just look into the bits and pieces of the story that we now have revealed, I will say that they obviously listened to the feedback from the previous trailer, because everyone there was wondering who the hell are these assholes and why did they sit out everything up until this point, because that was the first thing that they addressed. So yeah, that's fine and good and well. And then the way that they addressed it was basically saying that humans were the ones that undid the snap. And with the one snap, when they undid Thanos' snap, then they set the whole universe on fire, and now there's another shitstorm coming. And that leads me to think that Thanos did nothing wrong, and the Avengers should have left well enough alone. So, and now everyone has to pay the price for whatever fresh hell comes.
So then why is Loki in trouble?
Because Marvel has shit writers. That's why. But anyway,
because what you're just saying, though, it goes against what they said in the beginning of Loki. Then,
yeah, I know, but here's like the thing: the entire MCU is just a staged play of mindless automatons that have no free will and are just following out their pre-recorded roles, apart from Loki, who is a free agent. But ignoring that for the moment, that's like one takeaway. As for the movie itself, I did feel that this second trailer was much, much better, but I think that's only because we got a little bit more of the story, and it was like more music that hits on all of the emotional cues, so it's like more manipulative. It didn't work on me though. Actually, I thought it was distracting because I'm a big fan of a French animated series from the 80s called the English title is Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea. And the main theme of that, like the first few tunes in the main theme, is so like the first few notes in the recurring trailer theme in this movie that it honestly took me out of it, because I was just thinking, am I watching an Eternals trailer here, or am I watching a surprise movie adaptation of Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea? Because just the early music cue reminded me so much of that, and then when the next cue then suddenly deviated and went a different direction, it kind of like took me out of the whole thing, so it just distracted me. But that's me. And then beyond that, just like boring, didn't really do anything for me in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, that's forgettable, I guess. And I agree completely with you. I just think it looks dull and boring. Yeah, they filmed in Tenerife, and because of that, the landscape is beautiful. But that's the landscape. That has nothing to do with set design or anything else. It only means that they have some really beautiful staged landscape shots with people in front of them, and then the people do very little for me, and it's just flat, colorless, boring. And the reason that bothers me is because, as you pointed out, this is so far away from Jack Kirby. This is Jack Kirby's Eternals. I mean, Taika Waititi, you can say what you want about him or Ragnarok, but massive kudos to him, because in Thor Ragnarok, he made a movie that stood out in terms of music and score, and especially visually. That movie was a visual feast and tribute to Jack Kirby. And Jack Kirby is one of the most visual illustrators of all time. And those recurring like energy themes that he had in his art are simply iconic. Now, maybe not to regular people that don't read comics, but for comic book professionals and comic book readers with some sense of history, Jack Kirby is a legend, and so is his art. And that this movie won't pay tribute to that, or if it does, it so far has done it in such subtle ways that you can't even tell. That just rubs me the wrong way. I was like, what's the point of making the Eternals if you're not doing Jack Kirby's Eternals? I just can't get over that. It kills my desire to see the movie. And I don't want to be critical just for the sake of being critical. If this just had taken a visual cue from Thor Ragnarok, I would have been all over this.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
That's all. Everything else could be the same. But they just had to like maximize the colors and get some energy patterns in there, and it would have made all the difference in the world.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Andre. Now, this movie was filmed while they still didn't have the mutants, right? The X-Men. So wasn't that kind of?
I don't recall when it was filmed.
I'm trying to remember now because I thought that was another thing. Like they were going to try and use the Eternals as their makeshift mutants again.
No, that was the Inhumans.
I know that, but I'm saying I thought they tried it again with Eternals, but I could be wrong.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I'd have to look that up. But Culture, did we get your thoughts on the trailer?
I guess it was filmed in July, and then Culture. Yeah, how did you feel about the trailer?
You know, we talked a little bit about it last night. I still haven't changed my opinion, and I agree with Andre. It's very flat. It didn't inspire me to see the film. I mean, ultimately, if you're releasing the final trailer for something, you want to inspire an audience to like become engaged in this. And you know, really all it did was essentially answer some of the questions that the fans had, like myself and many others. But it didn't do anything more than that, because it's like, well, why didn't you guys get engaged in this universal existential crisis that Thanos created, right? And they were happily sitting on the sidelines, except that again in the previous trailer they were clearly engaged in helping humanity do some basic stuff to like grow. So it's like, pick one or the other. I think it's very poor writing across the board. But look, I mean, there are some people that are very excited to see this film.
That's cool.
But I don't know how they got excited based on the trailer that we saw. None of this stuff looks good. And look, from the aesthetic side of things, I expect the films to look good, and Andre, I couldn't have said it any better. It's incredibly flat. I just don't. It
might as well have been black and white. It's so colorless and boring.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand. I mean, there's something to be said for color grading and stuff like that when it comes to trying to show through your surroundings how bleak things are. But at the same time, it just was colorless, and I just expect more spectacle as well when I'm seeing these kinds of superhero films. But again, I mean, Marvel has deviated from their very own successful formula, and I think I can't state it any better than Script Doctor did, which is they are overly self-aware and they're lost. I mean, narratively they've been lost for a while, or you can take that the other direction and say they willfully are doing what they're doing. But again, it's based on strictly just the trailer. I was not inspired to go to the theater to see this. I don't think you're going to get a lot of people to see this, and you definitely aren't getting China to see this. So,
well, and it's funny you mentioned Script Doctor, because I vaguely remember. I wish he was here so he could tell it himself, but I thought he brought up about how the cinematographer was like all adamant about using natural light and shit in this movie, and that's probably another reason why it looks so drab and dark and dreary. Because that's the thing, is this is about about these fantastical beings, and again, getting back to the Kirby-esque thing, is like, how hard was it just to make it a little bit more colorful, and especially in the dark contrast. Those Kirby colors would have just popped like a motherfucker, right? Like, and it would have made them look so, like, it would have made them stand out even more and be like, oh, okay, these guys are something special, right? Like, to me now they look like just any other generic fucking superhero mob. They don't look like anything special, like anything we've never seen before. And yeah, like Rambam says here, Kirby's artwork was unique. And that's one thing that, you know, we keep saying is we don't care how you felt about Ragnarok, but they managed to nail it there. So we've already seen the cosmic side of things in the MCU. Why wouldn't they just continue to emulate that here? Because it would make visual sense. Even Guardians of the Galaxy kind of started to like kind of veer into that kind of look as well. So like that's kind of the look they established. Why are they going away from that, I guess, is my big question.
Weird creative choice. I mean, culture, you pointed it out, like the cinematographer had like this weird thing that we're going to go with natural light here. And I can understand that a cinematographer will look at the landscape where this is being filmed and decide that this is the way to capture those landscapes or something. But then they look at what they have in front of them. I think that's the only reason why I can imagine they would do a choice like that, and they're completely ignoring what it is they're supposed to be adapting in terms of source material, and then something has gone lost in translation along the way there. Also, someone made a great point here. I believe it was Shum who actually answered the whole like mutant thing.
Yeah, I remember.
And thanks for reminding me. This is actually something that we have pointed out before. I just like momentarily forgot it. And he says it was a thumb in the eye of DC because they were trying to do a new Gods movie. That's exactly right. That is why this happened. Kevin.
So
Smith,
this is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
No, that's not what it is. I'll give you another example of what this is. 2016, we had like two famous matchups. You had Batman v Superman, and you had Captain America Civil War, which in reality was Captain America versus Iron Man. Now, it wasn't always that. It became that in direct response to Batman v Superman. Kevin Feige later admitted that when Warner and DC announced Batman v Superman, he was like, oh shit, how are we going to respond to this? Oh, I know, we're going to take Captain America Civil War, we're really going to beef it up, and we're going to make it Captain America versus Iron Man for all intents and purposes. So that movie got the shape it did in direct response, not to the movie Batman v Superman, because that wasn't out yet, but to the announcement of the movie Batman v Superman. That's why that happened. So this is like the same thing. Here you had, then later you had DC announcing a new Gods movie, a Jack Kirby property, which is something that has the potential to be very, very special. And they also announced it to be directed by shall we put it in Hollywood terms, by a diverse director, because they virtue signaled maximum about that during the announcement, how it was supposed to be directed by, I forgot her name now, but she would have been awful for it. So, and it didn't happen. But anyway,
Ava DuVernay.
Thank you, Ava DuVernay. But then it was in the exact same manner as Batman v Superman that Kevin Feige went, oh shit, how are we going to respond to that? Oh, I know, we have a Jack Kirby thing too. We have the Eternals, so we are going to do an Eternals movie, and we are going to have that directed by someone else diverse. We're going to pit the two against each other, and we're going to beat the crap out of DC again. Ha ha! Those were his plans. That's what happened. There had nothing to do with the mutants. It was all about beating DC. But of course, what happened then was that DC went and they canceled their New Gods movie. And we're still getting this one. So that's the end of that mystery. That's what happened with that.
And I think we've really talked more about Eternals than I even have ever thought about them in my life. So why don't we see what the audience thinks about it and check out some of these super chats?
Let us do that. Let us see what you all have to say here. And Shadows C455 points out that New Gods are far more well known than Eternals. LOL. Yeah, this is true. This is true. in terms of comic books, the new gods are more well known. However, you can rest assured that Marvel fully intended to change that when this movie was announced, because at that time they were still at the top of the world. They were fully believed in their own hype, and they thought that they could do no wrong. And that theory is now about to be put into the test. Cultured and Diego, what do you think about that? Do you think that Marvel were a little bit too confident when they greenlit this movie?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only that, but we were talking about the stunning and brave, diverse, inclusive hire of the director, which is to their detriment, at least when it comes to the Eternals film, because Chloe Zhao is one of the primary reasons that this film will not be released in China.
Yeah, for Chinese sensibilities, it's too woke, and it's too problematic in that it has a Chinese dissident directing it.
Yeah,
it's ironic because she wasn't a dissident at the time when she was announced. I mean, the reason that Marvel went with Chloe Zhao to begin with is that they knew that this movie is so diverse and it's so inclusive that it's going to be a huge problem in China. Now, how do we overcome that problem? Oh, we're going to hire a Chinese director, and then we're going to talk in the West. We're going to talk about how amazing and inclusive we are for that too. Whereas in China, we're just going to have the movie released because of it. Whereas what actually happened was that because the director started speaking out, it's not getting released in China, period. Whereas in the West, they kind of look a little bit like sellouts because it's very obvious why they chose Zhao. And they can try to point to her talent all they want, but everyone knows the real reason.
And that's the saddest part of all this also. The fact that she was chosen as a bit of a token. And now because of her
and a
selection,
door opener.
Also. And because of that selection, now it's like her work is going to be even more hampered. Because we don't know. Maybe she put her heart and soul into this, because Marvel, one of the greatest movie properties in the modern era, right? She puts her heart and soul into this, and now it's completely blocked.
Yeah, that's one thing I can speak to is like these movies were clearly made in the era of Disney pandering to China. And I think we've hit a point now where not just Disney, but all of Hollywood realizes that folly, and they're trying to distance themselves. So these are sacrificial lambs. And I think that's why, to go back to our initial discussion about this, Andre, I think this is one of those situations where Bob Chapek is more than willing to let this be another sacrificial lamb. And again, it came under Iger's original regime anyway, so it's no real skin off his back in the end if these two movies fail. And in fact, they'll prove his points.
If anything, it makes him look better.
Exactly as I was saying. Like, so I don't have much faith in these films. My feeling is Shang-Chi is going to be a watchable film, and it's going to be enjoyable. It may even be triumphant. Nobody's going to laugh. Thanks, guys.
Sorry,
I'm not going to. That's a softball. I'll take the strike for the walk.
Hey, look, I'm not the one who did it. You go type in triumphant and fucking Shang-Chi in Twitter and see what happens.
Camera, just by you saying that, you fucked up my angle.
I ain't accusing anybody of shit. I'm just saying that's
even
no
Robert
crikey.
Meyer Burnett said it was a triumph. So yeah.
I'm just saying, and in this case,
well, he said a lot. He actually, forget it. He actually said a lot that got me interested in it even more. So
I'm willing to. Here's the thing with Robert.
Here's
the thing with Robert. I am willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he just happened to poorly chose those words out of some ironicy or something. I don't know if that's even a word, but my point being is like, he's one of the only ones I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt because I know Robert well enough that he's just a childlike heart to where he would do something like that and not think twice without realizing, oh shit, I just said the same thing 100 out of the million people said. But then again, I don't know.
Or maybe he was the original person who, he's the one who said triumphant and everybody just ran with it.
Sadly, that's not the case, Diego, but
he didn't just say triumphant. He
said a few other things too.
He broke it down as was it an Asian fantasy martial arts, family drama, like, those are the 3 points that I heard from his quick little video description. And I mean, I was in before, and I'm even more in now. I have a lot of the similar tastes that R&B does, but ultimately, I can't have an opinion until I see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what can really have that. Going back to the opinions of
At least the chat was with me. See, look, I got a few.
Yeah.
I laughed too, Tom.
I was holding on to that for like the right moment, and
oh, you were saying that yesterday too.
Yeah, but today I was saving it for just the right moment.
Yeah.
I thought that was it, and I guess it wasn't. So if I failed.
Oh, well, it happens.
What doesn't fail is our chat. They always come through. Yeah. So let's get to those super chats, Andre.
Keep it real.
Yes, indeed. Jeff C, this is one we can bring up on screen. So we still have others that we haven't brought up yet. This is just out of order. Jeff C says for $5, with all the CGI He-Man and Eternals disappointment, it looks like Andre is going for another drink. I got it right here. So yeah, here's that was a bottle on the floor.
We're getting there, folks. I can't believe we've gotten to this point. That it's been this long,
there.
But...
Something very important in the chat. Paul's hat is a triumphant.
Yes, it is. Paul is not just that one, but all of Paul's hats are triumphant.
From Drunk 3PO.
And Melvin Belliot says for $20. Thank you so much. The problem that these studios have is if you hire someone because of who they are, instead of being the right visionary to bring the property to life, you end up getting a lot of indifference from the audience. Yes, thank you. I think that for the Eternals, they have I'm not going to say anything about the story, but honestly, for Jack Kirby's Eternals, the visuals are a little bit more important than the story. And they hired the wrong team to bring out the visuals. That's the big thing. That means that it doesn't matter how good the movie actually turns out to be. It will always be tainted by the fact that it's not Jack Kirby visually.
Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's Sonic the Hedgehog all over again. Only this time it's worse because it's not a matter of just changing one CGI creature. It's everything. It's even the landscapes where it's filmed. Everything is kind of wrong because it doesn't have that Kirby visual flair.
And to be fair, we haven't seen the movie yet. We're only going off a couple of trailers. The movie could be great.
Yeah, the movie could be great, but visually it's not going to be Kirby.
So far, though, I'm not getting anything from the trailers, and it doesn't sound like too many people here are either. A few people in the chat seem excited for it, including 6, so I'm glad for that.
And that's very cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then my film critic friend. And there's a couple of them out there. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And The Wall says for $5, I still say it looks like someone who did not know they were attempted to do a CGI remake of the New Adventures of He-Man.
Well, we're going to get into that in very short time.
Get into
so hang on to that thought.
Yeah, just hang on to that. We'll get into that momentarily here. And then we have Dash D's, who says, I watched the Monuments Men last night. The scene where John Goodman is holding his dead friend had more heart and impact than most movies these days.
No.
I never got to see that film.
I seen part of it, but I never got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I also have to see that whole movie at some point.
I did watch The Deer Hunter for the first time the other night, though.
For the first time?
Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces of it before, but I've never seen the entire 3-hour film altogether.
One shot.
Yeah.
One shot.
And then Mecha J says, if I had to choose between seeing Shang-Chi or the Eternals, I pick the former. Yeah, I think many feel that way. I mean, Shang-Chi looks like it has more to it, honestly, like the Abomination.
More fun. And speaking of Shang-Chi, there was another super chat that had, here it is right here. Russian Ryu Cat says, just how important is costume design in any movie? Well, I said Russian. It's Bushin Ryu Cat. I'm so sorry. Is skipping Shang-Chi because of the Rubbermaid outfit. Yeah, it's not the best looking costume in the world. I'll say that much. And then we got this one right or no? Yeah, we got this
Yes,
one
we got that one.
right.
We
Okay,
got that
and I
one.
think that's all the ones I can bring up on screen.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna go into the back room here, and I'm gonna pick up the rest here. We're gonna get caught up, and then we're gonna move into what you all want to hear, namely the He-Man trailer. Let's see where we were before, because I have to get back to that here first. Then we got this one. Omni Hexagon. We got that one too, the Kevin Smith one.
We need music for when Andre's doing this.
Yeah, we should have some elevator music. Dash these. Dash these says, "Hey, Paulie, you've been bad. You're in the timeout corner there." That was before we moved.
I think he's commenting on how you moved your background around there.
Oh yeah.
You put yourself in the corner.
I just turned everything around. Slant Studios, man. It's part wash and dryer room, part YouTube channel. What are you gonna do?
And hat on a hat, playing the Jeopardy theme. Oh, that's not a good idea. Too tsunami. The new host had to step down already.
So I got another hat right here.
Actually, while you're doing that, there's some quick news bits I suppose I can bring up. In Australia, if you were looking forward to seeing No Time to Die, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. The movie has shifted to November 11th. So far in the U.S., it's set to come out in October, and in the end of September in the U.K. We'll see if those dates shift as well.
Yeah,
not good news for those who are fans of James Bond again.
Indeed.
I don't think that movie's ever going to come out.
Chats,
yeah.
Before we move on here. Darksblade says for $5, they're making a big budget movie to finish Jupiter's legacy story. Good for them. Also, all this yellow means lightsaber BK, not ebony blades. I think that's in reference to the thumbnail and the artwork on it. Kaiju King Gabriel says, would you say that the Eternals is almost as dull as Thor the Dark World? Story-wise, we cannot say. Eternals could be a great movie from a story point of view. Visually, yeah, I would certainly put it in that category.
I would still say that Dark World had a little bit more visual flair than this.
Probably, yeah.
Because it was a darkness to it, but it was still a little, it was...
It had some nice visuals in it. And then sent us another diamond sticker. And Stephanie Janishek, Smuggler's Cantina, says that she left a yawn in the comments of the trailer for the Eternals. The Last Millennial says they should have done it where the Eternals are in another universe, dealing with another Thanos, and movie ends with them ending in the MCU proper. And my biggest problem with this is that Richard Madden looks nothing like Icarus. Know the uniform, and why isn't he blonde? That's what I mean. It's like visually, it's just all out of whack. Dash D's also says the term milk toast comes to mind watching this. I have no idea what milk toast is, but I'm sure it must be something
plain, boring,
bland.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's Watch says for $10. Speaking of Eternals, I actually liked this trailer. It actually made me interested. Whoever made that first trailer should be fired. It actually answered questions we had. Shot of the Celestials was great. So yeah, Let's Watch enjoyed this trailer. Good, awesome.
It is a much better trailer than the first one. I can't deny that for sure, at least.
Yeah. And Rob Altis says that China and Bollywood used to follow us. Now we are following them. Actually, yes, you are. The time in the sun is over. Someone else has taken the lead. Not saying that's a good thing.
Simone Pirate, what's going on in Australia? No Time to Die was delayed again. That's all that's going on right now. Anyway, at least as far as entertainment news goes. The rest,
Right.
I can't tell you.
And Roar sent us another 50 Norwegian krona Peer Guy super sticker, so thanks for that. And,
Thank you for the support.
STR Red Wolf says for $5, I would take a tip from ZZ Top. Everyone goes crazy for a well-dressed man. Very good point. And Michael B, aka Shogun Gaming, sent us a 14 Danish krona super sticker of a unicorn, so thanks for that. Stephen Otten says, the second Eternals trailer was better, but I'm still not getting a sense of the story. Looking pretty is one thing, but I need more. And then getting into the He-Man matters. Hector Delgado says Netflix made Troll Hunters, slapped He-Man in the title. The Troll Hunters formula worked for them, and they're doing it again. It's funny you should mention that. I do believe it is the exact same animation studio that did the Troll Hunters that are doing this He-Man series. And then also, Andrei Medelski says for 100 chess krona, evening gentlemen, seriously, did I miss something? Did Masters of the Universe Revelation get cancelled already? Another He-Man? Didn't know about it. The trailer looks like a generic advert on a shitty online mobile game or something.
No, this is actually...
Yeah, Tom, you want to give the
I was
explanation?
going to say, no, we've actually known about this for almost the same amount of time as the Kevin Smith series. They were both announced roughly the same point.
This in 2019, actually.
Yeah, and even then, we held out hope. I know Andre's got a little bit different opinion. A few of the other people here on the panel, I know their opinion a little bit already, but we'll get into that real shortly here. So... we'll break it down a little bit more. But yeah, no, this series has been around known of since then, but I'm sorry you're just hearing about it now, I guess. It's the best way to put it.
Now it's as good as time as any. So yeah, we first did a video on this series in 2019.
The timing is pretty stupid, though. They should have waited for the Kevin Smith series to be done.
Yeah, like this is really bad. Like this coming in between blocks of the Revelations thing. I think that they must have thought that they had a hit on their hands with Revelations, because now this is just like, it's like honestly, 2 strikes in a row.
I'll say it right now. I don't think there's anything that was all that fucking adult in Revelations that kids can't watch.
No, there really wasn't. I mean, here's like what I find the most frustrating with the Revelations was that they first said that this is for the fans and we're just going to make it grown up now like you, but it's still for you guys. It's for the fans. And then they decided, what if we open it up to everybody?
So they make the grown-ups act like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, they made it so that no one can watch it.
Well, they did. They literally made Tila act like a 12-year-old, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And we got one we can bring up on screen here. Dark's Blade says with $5, thank you so much. Also with Shang-Chi, instead of changing the Mandarin again, why not combine Shang-Chi and Iron Fist instead of making Okoya? The spelling, I don't even know how to say it, even if you could spell it right, so don't worry about it, like they did in the comics. That's a very good question. Anybody got an answer for that?
No.
I'm going to say because stupid. Because Disney's, the Marvel's, they're grasping for straws at this point, I feel like. They really have no direction. We're like, and this is why I was curious of when the Eternals was filmed, because I feel like we're still in that pattern of they're trying to figure out what they're going to do before they had the X-Men and stuff like that, and when they were still kind of dangling with Spider-Man there in the wind.
Well, let me ask you this. When they made the Mandarin part of, was it Iron Man 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they have any idea there was Shang-Chi in the production?
No.
Oh, hell no. Here's the thing with Shang-Chi is this is my understanding of the comic itself. It only had like a very small run in the 70s, and then like the wrestler, I can't think of his name now, but he ended up doing like a special of it here a couple of years back. And in between there was like 30 years where the character had not been in any comics. So like
Exactly.
Them just picking this character out of nowhere. I feel like it has something to do more with Iron Fist failing. I don't know if that's what Darkblade is saying here, but like
I
there are some
think
other people
that has more to
Gotcha.
do with it
Yeah.
because Iron Fist failed, and
CM Punk. That's
yeah.
who I was trying to think of. Thank you, Mega Kurgan.
yeah.
But yeah, so and then Dash D says, didn't China blow a fit over the Mandarin and had to remove him?
Actually, no, because here's like the thing that Marvel were smart enough to realize that the Mandarin, as he was in the comics, wasn't going to fly in China, so they never even tried it. They self-censored themselves without even trying, and it blew up in their face.
Yeah.
And now that he's going to appear in this movie, it's blowing up in their face twice as much.
Yeah, I think so. Do we have any more classic super chats to get to?
Yeah, we have one more we can bring up here to do, which is on topic of He-Man. Nicholas Horton says, going by those toy images, He-Man and Skeletor riding motorcycles. It's Motu in name only.
Yeah, this is where I'm leaning.
So yeah, let us now finally get into the He-Man part of the conversation. Gentlemen, what did you all think of the He-Man, because this is the title, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, animated or CGI animated series aimed at younger children by Netflix? Cultured, let's begin with you, our esteemed guest of the day.
Please restate that. I'm sorry, I was Bear Dog was
Your
distracting.
thoughts on the recent He-Man trailer?
The new animation for kids thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, as I said last evening, and I think Tom actually was very eloquent. This is not for me. Based on the Diego's take on it, which really informed my opinion last evening. I'm not excited for this. I'm not going to watch it again. We're back to first of all, this is not directed at adults, at least not as far as I could see. I think it doesn't do service to the characters at large. It looks, again, the animation style is not the worst, but I feel like this is like maybe an Overwatch like thing. Like maybe they're trying to promote Overwatch, or maybe
what's an Overwatch?
Fortnite.
Overwatch is a video game, or maybe like a Fortnite. Like they're like, this is a special thing that's coming to Fortnite. That's how I kind of feel about this. I don't know. I mean, we're back to modern entertainment having very little to offer. That's going to intrigue me. And again, I mean, same points are going to be made. This doesn't represent the source material in a positive way. It doesn't. It doesn't give these characters their own agency based on some of the descriptives that Diego came up with. They're more like a team. I honestly feel like this is a 4-person team, maybe in Fortnite, like was just mentioned in the chat, or something like that. And the characters aren't properly represented. So, but again, I mean, if this is aimed at young people, because it's trying to get this younger audience, and obviously it's trying to show these as young people. I never had the idea that He-Man was particularly old, Adam being a young prince. So I mean, even this doesn't fit with the original lore. So, and again, they're not interested in the original lore, so I'm not interested in this show. Hopefully that was that's as eloquent as I can be right now. Okay.
Diego, you had an interesting take on this.
But before that, I just want to point out Mike D. He has if I can hit it here, Mike D. has the comment of the hour here. Wait, is this supposed to be He-Man?
Just wait till I get going on this shit.
And I was gonna say, no, this is not He-Man Masters of the Universe. This is Power Rangers Masters of the Universe. This show is clearly designed based on data points, watching what kids enjoy, okay? Because there's many elements. I saw this, and it brought me back to Power Rangers Season 1. The fact is, it's a 5-man team. You have 2 girls, 3 guys, which Battle Cat is a guy in this case, so even though people are going to say no. And it's basically that kind of model. You also have the fact that there's a leader, a clearly defined leader. In this case is Adam, He-Man, and the rest follow him. There's no Lance, okay? And the fact that they all transform because of the sword, that is Power Rangers. They have a robotic assistant and a disembodied voice. Again, Alpha and Zordon. I think you're all going to start getting the whole point. This thing is clearly made based on what they know sells for kids, and what they say it sells for kids is Power Rangers. But so they don't seem like a ripoff of the current Power Rangers. They took the first generation of Power Rangers, season 1, Saban's original Power Ranger premise, and they start bringing that, because even the characters themselves, they are specialized in something. Battle Cat clearly is more of a brawler. You have Tank, that's more the techie. You have Sorceress Tila, I don't know, who is basically designed for ranged attacks. Then you have the whatever the little spunky kid is at the end, because I'm confused, is of more like going up close, one hit ends the fight, and then you have the sword guy, which is the leader. Every single part of this series has the beats of the old Power Rangers, that they took that as their model, because they're going to try to sell toys. They're not trying to sell you a series. They're not going to try necessarily give you something good, as far as I can tell. This all is designed for the toys, as always. It's for merchandising. It's for getting the kids to buy the toys. On the bright side, if they do follow that model, there is potential that they actually put more correct themes to the story. You do see character development of Adam being a kid who's a nitwit to being a more proper leader. You start seeing them develop their characters. There's a potential of that if they follow the model all the way through. The problem is we don't have guarantees. And there's so much more I can see from this that can evolve, because I mean, even Skeletor and his minions, they're not minions. They're more like equals, and they're part of an evil team. You know, they even took G.I. Joe and Cobra into this. It's like so many things that once I saw it, and then I rewatched it, and then I started talking to people and started thinking about it. It's like more and more. This has beats that seem to be imitating shows that preceded it, that are popular with kids. That's designed by Data, and they're gonna go with it. And who knows? It might actually be better than the current Kevin Smith one. At least, I don't know. I'm not gonna say yes or no. At least in the initial appreciation, I'm not excited about it. But if I'm gonna review it to make sure that if it's good or not. Because if it's good, I'm gonna at least tell people it has a story. But if not, I'm going to tell people, don't even show your kids this. Don't even get to the toys. Ignore it completely. Burn it if you can. That's kind of scenario.
This is Aero JP, and I like this. Says, what's an Overwatch? See Andre. Overwatch is a game not on the Sega Genesis Mega Drive. Following so far?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And Darksblade is clearing up. The Jupiter's Legacy crack was about how bland Eternal look, and yellow was the Eternals have gold powers. So Black Knight will also have a laser sword from the 80s.
All right. Well, there we know that.
But okay, so Paulie. Now I remember, you were a little too old for He-Man, so you didn't really have the reaction to the Kevin Smith series that everybody else did. Did you happen to catch this trailer, and what did you think?
I didn't. Sorry, man.
No worries. We'll just hop on past you. Unless you have something to add to it. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I trust Diego's take on it. So, if it's not for me, it's for kids and, all that stuff. But, yeah, it kind of looks like that's all I got, man. I don't want to waste your time.
That's more than I thought we'd get out of you for that.
Right.
So Andre, you want to crack into this first, or you want me to?
Yeah, sure. I can go first because I know that you're going to have a heck of a lot more to say. Obviously, this series is not made for me. What this is it's a new interpretation of the Masters of the Universe that's made for kids. And it obviously has to be seen through that lens. Another thing I would like to add is that if you look at entertainment in the age that this is aimed for, like boys aged 4, 5, 6, thereabouts, there's nothing for the boys. There's nothing. There is only for girls, almost. Like, it's for girls or it's for both, and there's nothing for boys. There's nothing showing like anything like a positive male role model. The closest thing that you have to a male role model in any kind of movie or series or anything like that aimed at kids in that age bracket is that soy boy in Paw Patrol. That's the closest thing you're going to get. In that sense, I do hope that this is successful. I hope that it's going to have some positive values and lessons for kids. Although I will say that it has all of the keywords that turn me off it. Because one of the things they said was that the kids are supposed to identify with this, and just that has me like worried right off the bat. I was more positive about these prospects of this before I saw the trailer than after. After it, I hope it's going to be a positive experience. I hope it will have positive messages for the kids, and I do hope that it will be well received by the kids, because I know it won't be by anyone else. I'll say that.
Well,
certainly, like I'm not seeing this, and also I agree completely with Diego in that it probably has something from Power Rangers. That was after my time, so I know nothing about Power Rangers almost. But also, this seems to have taken a cue from the DreamWorks She-Ra series, which was She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Because the whole clue there was that it wasn't just She-Ra, it was all the princesses were special, so that all the little girls that the show was made for could identify with all the princesses on screen that all had their special powers. Even if only one was She-Ra, they were all princesses. And you kind of have like the same thing going here. Adam, he can't be special in him being He-Man. No, everyone is special. Everyone gets to transform and get some of that Masters of the Universe over them. Oh, and of course, little redhead girls, they don't get anything to look forward to. They don't get anything because Tila has been race bent, and of course.
Are you sure this is Tila or the sorceress? Because from the trailer, I thought it was the sorceress.
Well, they're the same. Tila and the sorceress are the same.
Oh, for fuck. Oh.
And so what we're looking at right here, I'm fairly sure, is race bent Tila. That is now black, but with white hair, I think. And that other kid next to Battle Cat is Man at Arms Ultra Junior.
Why do they got to do this shit to me?
You all know that I've been, or anyone that's been watching these earlier streams know that I've been like, I know that this is not made for me. It's not going to be the He-Man we know. It's going to be radically changed, but that is to fit the kids of today. But if this is what they're going to know, they'll never be turned into fans of the real He-Man, because this is just too radically different.
Yeah, I'm going to start there because I think Diego's onto something. This has more in common with a million other things that aren't Masters of the Universe. Like, I don't even know how they can call this Masters. They should have just made their own new series with the same concept. It was not even remotely close enough to Masters of the Universe to where it would have encroached on any kind of... It would have encroached on less copyrights in the fucking Kevin Smith series. Let's be... All right, I'm trying to be as calm as possible on this. Last night, this is how I started it, so I'll start it this way again. The 2012 series of TMNT comes to mind when I first heard of this series, because I was like, all right, it's not going to be made for me, but as long as they can be respectful to the source material, then I don't care, right? Like, I watched the first few episodes of the 2012 TMNT Nickelodeon series. I didn't like the design, but at least the story was there. The characters were close enough. I didn't like the slapdash humor and all that kind of shit, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's mostly harmless. At least I can stand this being somebody's first Ninja Turtles, right? Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, brought up a point last night to me that hurts me more than anything here, and this is where I change a little bit in what I said last night. This is going to be somebody's first He-Man. That bothers me, because this ain't He-Man. And not only is this not He-Man, it is some of the most god-awful shit I've ever... I said this to you last night, Andre, and I still stand by it. That fucking She-Ra series we just got recently, at least is closer in design than this shit. Okay?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
That's just starting with the design aspect, all right? Now let's get to the fucking story. They cannibalize the fuck out of the story, right? And this whole idea that everybody's fucking a master of the universe and gets power from the sword, all this shit is taking everything away from me. It's like they took the original concept and smashed it with some of the mythos, but then, like Diego said, grabbed everything from everywhere else and made a hodgepodge of something that is just insulting to anybody who would even remotely want to be a fan of this, as far as I'm concerned. Look, I'm sure there's going to be kids who are going to be fans of this, and it breaks my fucking heart, okay? Because this is not He-Man. I get some people making comparisons to the 90s New Adventures of He-Man. I don't even really see that. Maybe in some of the He-Man concept
I don't even
designs.
see that so much.
Me neither. I don't. But
I'll take the New Adventures myself.
And then there's the voice aspect where you've got He-Man who never changed voices. And that's the thing that bothers me too, is part of the whole point of this, and this is something a lot of people were bringing up last night too, is kids want adults to look up to. That's why Superman, Batman, all these kind of characters are generally popular, right? The appeal of He-Man in the first place was that he had the power, he was He-Man, right? And that gave kids that conduit through Adam, who was, a bumbling fool all the time, even if he had to play the part, and he was just a kid, nobody paid attention to him or thought he was important. But as soon as he held that sword aloft and said the magic words, he became He-Man, and he was the most powerful man in the universe. And that is a kid's ultimate fantasy, and that's what built this franchise. So I get where they're coming from in that, but from there on out, they're losing the sight of the entire franchise. And again, I agree with the super chat we had here earlier too about, like, see if I can still bring it up or not. I apologize if I can't, because it'll probably make me look stupid. Because no, of course I can't. Thanks a lot, StreamYard. But yeah, like, basically, when everybody's special, nobody's special, right? That's what we got here. Again, I'm with you, Andre. It's just like the She-Ra series. They tried to make everybody special, so then nobody was special. I wish it could be something like the 2012 series. I don't hold out any hope for it. I'm not saying I'm even going to fucking bother watching it, because I don't even see anywhere near any chance of this being any good. I just don't see it. Not in this fucking trailer. Orko's a fucking robot. You've got Ram Mam. I mean, that's almost like they're taunting us now, right? Like, because that's the kind of names we'd come up with. Like, so...
To be clear, that's the kind of names we'd come up with as a parody to mock.
That's my point. Yes, thank you. To be clear. So to me is like, who's going to find this appealing? I think you're right, Andre. I don't see any boys who are going to find this appealing, and I think it's going to be just too drab and not anything that girls are going to find really that interesting. I don't know who this is for. And if I had a young kid,
I can answer that.
And like Mike said last night, if I had a younger kid, I would just raise them on the Filmation series. Fuck this noise.
Yeah, problem is, are they even going to watch that? Because kids today, which are reared on things that look kind of like this, like the Paw Patrol and that kind of stuff, they're not going to watch the Filmation series because it's too quaint for them. That's a tragedy. Although it's amazingly well written. The animation is great to us. It's quaint to kids growing up today. They can't watch that.
And Monkey Jeebus isn't wrong here. I mean, I get it. We're treading on thin ice. This isn't for us at all. And that was my point with the 2012 TMNT series. I could ignore it. But then I saw an episode of that Rise of the TMNT, and that's the feeling and vibe I get here. Is like, that shit is just literally squatting and taking a shit all over the Ninja Turtles. I don't give a shit if it's not made for me so much. That part don't bother me, right? I don't give a fuck if there's going to be toys out there that I want to buy. That doesn't bother me either. The part that bothers me is what Mike said last night, and that was, this is going to be some kid's first He-Man. That bothers me, right? I didn't care if the 2012 TMNT was some kid's first TMNT. Yeah, it sure wasn't made for me. I didn't like it, but there wasn't something that was so bad about it that I could be like, oh, that is not Ninja Turtles. This ain't fucking He-Man. And I think it's an insult to call it that. You know, I mean, I get it. I may sound like a salty old man in some respects, but I can't stand by this and let it just go by without it being commented on, at least. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tear the show apart. I'm not even necessarily going to review it or watch it for that matter, but it is still a chance it could be good, but frankly, I don't think so after that trailer, because they dropped way too much in that trailer for me to be like, nope, this is not right. And I know, I'm a salty old man.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna say something that is a bit, it will shock some. But originally, when I saw it the first time, I'm not talking afterwards. But when I saw the trailer the first time, I was like, okay, I can actually watch this, right? Because then I thought about it. Why did I react so positively to this against the other He-Man? And that's when the ball started rolling and started seeing. That's why I think in my case, I can watch it because I see things from the Power Rangers. And that's why I'm going. I saw those things and I said, okay, I'm going to watch this because I got to make sure that everything I'm thinking right now is in there. Because I think there's a lot more to it. Because like how people are saying, for example, the Fortnite skins, or also they're making comments about, you know, in regards to certain aspects of it that I really want to see how it goes, just to, you know, to see this train wreck from beginning to end, that kind of feeling. And that's why I said I'm going to review it, and I'm going to break down everything. We're going to see story, we're going to see animation quality, action scenes, everything, just to be 100% sure that what the hell is this? Because I think this is trying to take too many things at once that is so confusing.
Yeah. And I mean, again, and I want to remind people who think that we shouldn't, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people who griped about the Thundercats show too, and I could say the same thing. And, you know, like Nick's Radio brings up here with this super chat, it wasn't made for us. Isn't that the Brie Larson defense? Exactly. Like, that shouldn't be a defense, or, you know, put it above any kind of criticism, or we shouldn't hold it to a standard, because honestly, we should hold the stuff our kids watch to a higher standard, to be honest. That's the way I feel. I mean, now, again, on the one side of things, fine. If it's, you know, if it has good morals and a good story, great. But then why didn't you just make it its own thing? Because it doesn't resemble Masters of the Universe in the least, outside of a very minor kind of.
Well, I think, you know what I think this is. I think this is focus group all over. I think
that's what Diego was saying.
Yeah, but I think that's true, because after the 2000 X series failed, and you know why it failed, it wasn't the TV series that failed; it was the toy line that failed. Because the problem was that the toy line that was associated with the 2000 X series, it looked amazing for adult collectors. For adult collectors, it looked like a fantastic update of the original He-Man line of toys. But for the kids of the year 2002, they weren't into that at all. They weren't into, like, this guy running around in his underwear. They just weren't. And so the toys didn't sell, and that's ultimately what derailed the entire series.
I don't know how well the distribution was on the toys either, because honestly, Andre, I could never find them.
There might be more to it, but apparently Mattel had internal research that said that kids aren't into this, and this is why in season 2 He-Man got this new snake armor thing, right? And the reason for that was apparently we have to dress this guy up a little bit more so the kids want to play with him. And well, that came out wrong. To use this action figure, and And it was too little too late. But it was lagging toy sales that killed that entire line there, because the preferences of kids in 2002 wasn't the same as the preferences of kids in 1983. Or 1982, as it were, because that's when the original toy line was out. So in those 20 years, what was appealing had changed. And I think that they learned a lot from that. And here they've done those focus groups and anything in advance. And this is something that they think that kids today of the target age are more likely to want to pick up in a toy store. And that's why we're seeing these designs primarily. There may be other motivations too, but I think that's like a big thing. And then to change them up from what they originally were, I think they have very little qualms about doing that. You see like some very light similarities between most of them, except for like Tila. Maybe that's not Tila, maybe that's Evelyn. Maybe that's Evelyn we're watching there. I mean, she has the white hair. She has like the blue thing. That's like Evelyn's staff, isn't it? Maybe we're seeing Evelyn in that picture. I don't know.
For fuck's sake. I don't know. I tried to find out, but there's very little out there yet, because the OG character designs don't look anything like these, so you can't tell one apart from the other as far as who they're supposed to be. A few of them, outside of the 2 or 3 main ones, no, you can't. Like, we're sitting here debating on is that Tila or whatever. I thought Ram Mam was fucking Tila too for a while there, because I wasn't sure. Because she was all white and stuff, so I'm like, oh, that must be Tila, because I was going by the color scheme. And everybody's like, oh no, it's Ram Man, it's Ram Man. And I looked it up, and there's Ram Mam, so I'm like, I guess they might be right. And then, like, that's the other thing that bothered me, I said last night too, is, okay, fine, you can have this whole team power-up thing, but why would you pick all these characters that, if that is supposed to be the sorceress or not, I don't know. But let's just say for the sake of argument it is, and that is obviously Man-at-Arms. Why are they aged down? You have 2 of the more mentor characters. They're supposed to be there and old for a reason.
Well, probably because kids today think that he's like old and freak, and they want a young kid to identify.
But that's the thing, is this animosity towards adults. I don't like this in kids' cartoons. Kids are supposed to trust most adults. I don't like that message.
Yeah, personally,
and I don't give a shit about all the, the gay stuff that was in the She-Ra thing. Fine, whatever. That is what it is. And they were aiming that towards a different kind of an audience too. But like, and I don't see any of that shit here. But like, what is the deal with fucking Man-at-Arms being more like Mam-at-Arms? Like, there you go. Like, look at him in that stance there. I don't get it. And his hair and the whole fucking thing. It looks like, because God forbid his name is Man-at-Arms. We can't have him be too fucking manly. Okay, I'll fucking say it. There, I said it.
Yeah.
Don't anybody speak all at once.
No. I'm thinking something about it, because it's between what you just said, Tom, and also what Andre said about the original series. And I think that also something else that we are not taking into account, that because and that gives more strength to my hypothesis on this thing that's been made by research data, is the fact that I think also because of the change in how kids are being raised and what is being shown, and the agenda, as we call it, how they're showing to kids. The idea of maybe adults being antagonistic or not, or being self-reliant on themselves as kids, okay, is the fact that maybe they also took certain things from that time when He-Man failed, okay, in the 2000s, because at that same time is when you had, for example, Harry Potter, and not only going to add Star Wars because that killed the sales most likely, but around that same time you had Harry Potter, with the whole premise, if you see it like in a very simplified form without taking account that there are mentor characters, is the fact that you have characters that you have 3 kids, yes, who grow up and mature along the way, but there are 3 kids who basically resolve many of the problems and save the school or save the world in one way or another, and they're not adults. And I think they're taking the wrong message out of all that, because they're not taking into account the influence of the elders in the story.
Exactly.
And so because they're taking the wrong message, they're thinking that's the message we have to give to the kids, they're putting it here.
The only adult that we've seen in the story so far that has any connection to the characters, which I'm sure Randor and the other people are there probably, but they'll end up being bumbling fools and totally inactive in the stories. Skeletor, they already dropped who he is. So right off the bat, you got the bad uncle, right? And then people are also pointing out how He-Man doesn't change his voice at all. Like when he changes from Adam to He-Man, you know, and then oh God, there's just so many other things I could get into. And I shouldn't give a shit about this. That's the problem. I shouldn't care. This shouldn't even be anything that's on my radar. It should have just been like another, okay, moving on kind of thing for the next day. But He-Man is just one of those things that, like, you got to fuck with it, don't you? You just got to fuck with it. You can't leave it alone. You can't. I'd almost rather have none at this point. That's what bothers me. And then there's so many other things I want to get to, but I know we have a couple super chats we should probably get to that are on topic with this. And I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in at all too, but one thing I did notice though before we get to that, I don't know, I can't say that they aren't going to have them, but I have noticed through all my research and trying to find shit, none of the girl characters have figures yet. I have not seen one single figure of any of the girls. That's why I was trying to figure out who Teela was, who the sorceress was, all that kind of shit, because they're both listed in the voices, right? But I have not seen a toy of any of those characters. Not one single female character have I seen a toy for yet. Only the male characters. Unless anybody else out there has seen otherwise, please let me know, because I have not.
I haven't seen anything here.
I wonder if that's going to be a stink that's going to be raised, because we all said here it just doesn't seem appealing to boys. Like you said, Andre, if anything, it's pushing more towards to appeal to the girls, but I don't even know if it's going to do that.
Well, I think I don't think that they're trying to aim for the boys. I think that they're trying to aim for boys and girls. So they're aiming for the maximum wide appeal possible. And in so doing, they've made it so bland that it'll appeal to no one, because that's what usually happens when you try to make something appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
So safe, so all that it appeals to absolutely no one.
And I'm going to steal this from you, double back again. Yes, Orko D2. Yes, Orko D2. Yes, I love that. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And then, let's get into these super chats. We'll begin with the ones we can get up on screen. Dash D's says for $5 Canadian. I think I got it. The boy is Man at Arms, white hair is Sorceress, and blue hair girl is Teela.
There's a blue-haired girl?
Yeah, where's the blue-haired girl? Are you sure I think they're the same girls.
That's the thing. Is the Ram Mam is the shorter one that's with white. She's the one on the far. Okay, that's Ram Mam there, I think, right?
Let's see.
I'm pointing at right here with the pointer. I don't know if you can
I think that may be. I don't know. I can't tell. Like, their faces are obscured, so I can't tell.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that
the sorceress character, when she's powered up, she has a white suit. So I think because also her head is lighting up, so she must be the ram one.
Seeing this ram, it looks almost like it's trying to form like a rhinoceros head kind of thing, almost, and got jumpers on the feet and stuff. So I don't know. I get this like Super Sentai Power Rangers thing when they power up kind of thing. And actually, the sad part is He-Man's outfit right here don't look that bad. I don't hate this outfit for He-Man, right? Like, it's not the worst thing. I could see the regular He-Man wearing something like that.
Oh, yeah. I have no issues with the outfit.
Otherwise, everybody else looks like shit as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They certainly do. And then
Skeletor looks like he's melting.
Yeah, he looks really bad. And then Niku-san says for $19.99. Whoa, thank you so much. And he says, watching Masters of the Universe Revelation reviews, I don't think anyone pointed out that Teela was always saved by a man. Orko versus Skeleglow, Man-at-Arms versus Merpeople twice, and Solo defended Grayskull. He-Man versus Skeletor. Teela only dealt with low-hanging fruit.
Good point.
Very good point. Only goes to show like
how stunning and brave she really is.
Yeah, how stunning and brave she is, and how double standards the filmmakers really are. And that's the end of what I can get up on screen here. But we have older ones here behind the scenes. Dash Attack says, I think it can work. Yes, the setting is different. The characters echo their counterparts, and it's not a deconstruction that we know of. We will see. Yes, indeed. We'll just have to wait and see. Next Radio said it wasn't made for us. Isn't that the Brie Larson defense? Yes, it is the Brie Larson defense. But you know what? A broken clock is still right twice a day. And this would be something like that, you know. And Bushin Ryu Cat says for $5. Who remembers that Tony Stark quote from Avengers Age of Ultron? Isn't that why we fight? So we can go home? Shows me being so superpowered isn't all that. And Read by Nature points out for £2 inclusivity through exclusion.
Yep, pretty much.
That's what the modern day diversity and inclusion appears to be all about, exclusion.
And while we got a second here, Diego actually has to check out. So thank you, Diego, for being with us here today. I appreciate it. And you can also catch Diego on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Midnights at Espanol. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday, a mix of English and Spanish. And we have some videos popping up every once in a while. Hope to see you guys there. Goodbye.
All right, take care. And then, moving on with the super chats here, we have, let's see, here we are. The Wall says for $5, in honor of what they're doing to He-Man on Netflix, instead of koalas in the rain, please end with the South Park skit. Oh, we shall see. And
Comedy Central would really nail us for that.
For probably. $5 Canadian, let's not do that. Let's not give them any reason to take us out. And Dash D says, I hate to admit this, but it kind of reminds me of Furry Force from YouTube. Don't judge me. I have no idea what that is. So,
I can tell from the title, though, it's probably something that's pretty inappropriate.
Yeah, probably. And take your sick, especially since it comes from Dash D's. So, yeah, it has to be.
I hate to use that term, but I couldn't think of a better one.
Yeah, and Take Your 610 says for $2, is that He-Man in the animation style of Clone Wars? That's an animation style.
Pretty close.
But yeah, it's not actually. I would have preferred it to be closer to Clone Wars.
I was gonna say Clone Wars might have some more details. So, like, somebody compared it to the other series they did after Clone Wars that had seemingly less detail. That's what it felt more like to me. The Rogue, whatever one it was. What the hell was it called? The one with the dude bro in it as a voice.
Well, let us know in the comments. I still
God, I just forgot the name of it for some reason. Rebels, thank you. Not Rogue, Rebels. Yes, that's it. A bunch of people got me. Yeah, see, I'd say Rebels. Yes, that's what it reminded me of. Rebels. Thank you. Everybody's getting it now.
Yeah.
This is a problem with getting old. You forget shit.
And then double back again. He aptly points out, everyone has the power, so no one has it.
That's the super chat I was looking for. Thank you. That's the one that I couldn't bring up on screen.
Yeah, and it's a very, very good one. Work in Progress says for £2. He-Man, now with authentic karate chop action.
Well, they did have, what was it, Super Punch He-Man or whatever?
Thunder Punch.
Thunder Punch, thank you. Yes, Thunder Punch. Yeah. Now, maybe I should get that figure, god damn.
And then STR Red Wolf says for $9.99. I think we got this, but I'm not sure. This had to be made like a Team Fortress 2 short using source filmmaker. I'm not familiar with either that or that software. I'm sure this wasn't cheap to make, but yeah, who knows?
Probably an older. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. And with that, we're actually
Jason Gray,
caught up.
Rod Thunder Punch. Yeah, Rod Thunderheart ain't been here today. Hope he's doing
Oh,
well.
yeah, not bad. And with that,
We did get one from Dash Dees, though.
exactly.
Speaking of, says, I think I'm getting a reputation here. One sizzling senior's comment, and I'm labeled for life. That happens.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
that's how it is. But we don't mind. It's all good. So
You know, there's always that one goat.
Yes, indeed, Culture. So you've been really quiet here because we've been talking about He-Man, because I know that's not your jam.
yeah,
Well,
but I think we're just pretty much done with the He-Man talk. Also, I just have to point this out. SDR Redwolf points out, that's okay, Andre. Team Fortress 2 isn't on the Sega Mega Drive. So yeah, well, that's why I have no idea what the hell that is.
And Six points out that Rod Thunderheart doesn't have to be here for me to say his name. That is true.
Yeah,
but I wonder if I say it any more times, if he'll show up. It's kind of like Yellow Flash. If you say Yellow Flash 3 times, Yellow Flash, he might show up.
He does show up. He did that yesterday. I mean, last night, poof, he was there. Hello.
I think he was
Yellow
listening
Flash?
anyway.
Yellow Flash is awesome, man. He
is. He's a lurker like me sometimes.
Yeah, me too. And he and that Umbrella guy, boy, let me tell you, they're breaking stuff.
I miss
all the
Tug.
time.
I haven't got to talk to him in a while.
Yeah, he broke an Amber Heard thing.
What's going on with Amber Turd? Tell us.
Yeah, what's going on with Aqua Lady?
Well, apparently Warner's very, very concerned after the recent setback for Miss losing her dismissal. Her attorneys went out, tried to get a dismissal of this defamation case, and the judge soundly rejected it. Just said, yeah, no, your argument makes no sense. As Miss AH was not named in the actual as an actual litigant or defendant in the case in the UK. This is going to proceed forward. I mean, because and then of course, there were many other things that, they were like, this isn't even applicable here in the United States. These is going to proceed forward. So it's pretty interesting. But apparently Warner is very concerned with the performance of Aquaman 2 because of public opinion seems to be turning against her and many that are involved in this stuff in Hollywood. So yeah. So
we're going to sell so many Aqua Lady pooping the bed T-shirts, gearing up to that movie.
Please do.
I think you will. And they seem to be quite stylish. I think Not Some Kid did an excellent job on that T-shirt design right there.
Yeah, but he's a pain in the ass to work with.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, if he doesn't get a nap, he's a real jerk.
Yeah, we have to get in some more assignments in the near future here.
Yeah. Well, somebody has to do something stupid that we shouldn't be talking about, so we can't.
Well, there's a lot of stupid out there in the world.
I know, but usually it means when the YouTube monsters don't want us to talk about it. That's when Not Some Kid gets tapped.
Yeah. We still have we still have this whole thing going on, don't we, with Aqua Lady? And
That's
really
true.
hope that it's going to blow up big time in their face.
I think, and here's the problem. I mean, based on Momoa's contract, if this film gets dumped on streaming, because again, this is I think he's repped by WME, so WME had some forethought here, and his contract stipulates that if it goes direct to a streaming service, he gets a giant payday. Payday.
It's kind of funny how, when you go out and try to cancel somebody and you're guilty of the things you accuse them of, how that can just blow up in your face sometimes, huh?
Or all over your bed sheets.
Oh, he went there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. So those that try to cancel others for what they're guilty of, maybe not do that, because there may be hell to pay one day.
Indeed.
Which Warner are about to find out when the audience turns against their movie. And I think they will. I think there's a very, very good chance the audience are going to turn against Aquaman 2 by the time it shows up. And even I think women that otherwise would show up for Jason Momoa might have second thoughts. But we shall see. We shall see.
6, I like this. I want to cancel myself so I can start over. Too bad I don't believe in reincarnation. Do you have to believe in it, though, for it to be true, though? That's the question.
No, it only has to believe in you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the only faith that says that is like, well, most of them, but I don't know. I don't want to get into that debate.
No, yeah, but I mean, then there's always Pascal's wager, right? But
Pascal's
anyway.
wager, please enlighten me.
Oh yeah, there's no harm in accepting, some form of life after death. In that, either way. Yeah, either way.
I thought you meant Amy Pascal for a moment, which meant if you don't like it, you throw a sandwich at it.
It's basically like if you believe in all the stuff you're supposed to believe in, and you're wrong, you haven't really lost out. You'll be going to heaven like a good believer. Whereas if you choose not to believe, and you're right, nothing kind of like bad happens. But if you are wrong, and you were supposed to have believed and you don't, then you're kind of screwed. So the result is for the wager is, just believe anyway, just play it safe, because that way, if there is something to believe in, you have better odds than if you choose not to believe, because then you're gambling on there being nothing.
And if you're struggling from, issues in your life, surrender yourself to a higher power of any type that you elect to choose, and it will grant you strength. And
well, I already know. South Park told me the answer is. South Park said the answer is Mormon. So.
Sounds like a program talk.
It was. That was back at the right time. Of a little of that. As I saw you come back on camera, I knew you would appreciate the higher power reference.
But I love that episode, though.
We were talking about Pascal's wager briefly for some reason, which is my fault. I apologize.
And I thought he meant Amy Pascal.
No,
which meant if you don't like something, you throw a sandwich at it.
No.
Who are we talking about?
Amy Pascal. Well, he was talking about a different Pascal, but I was talking about Amy Pascal. But anyway. Willie Woodward coming in with a super chat says, I'm this episode. Warner Brothers found that ignoring and gaslighting fans.
I think he means in this.
Oh, in this episode. Okay, I know what he's trying. Okay, hang on here.
Yeah.
In this episode, Warner Brothers found out that ignoring and gaslighting fans leads to losing money. Until next time. Cue the He-Man theme. He-Man. There you go. I got it now. It took me a second.
There we go.
Okay. Was there any other super chats that we had to get to yet? I think there's a couple.
I think that we are fully caught up.
Are we?
I'm just going to do a quick double check here. Yeah, I think we're caught up. Just about. Let's see here. Yeah, we are fully caught up. If someone believes that we are not caught up and that I accidentally missed their super chat, now's the time to let me know.
Please let us know. Yes. Yes, I know 6. I should read it before. Or no, she says read it before sending it. Well, you have that. Yeah. Sometimes you just try to get them out there. I do it myself.
As Willie says, like typing on the phone, that stuff.
That doesn't help either. I got fat fingers, so yeah.
Damn autocorrect.
Yeah, then you got autocorrect. Nicholas Horton says Sorceress is in the show. It's Tila's powered up form. Oh. And this is the other thing I didn't bring up. And the Guardian of Grayskull is a new character named Eldris. The fuck? Because that was another point I made last night, is the Sorceress ain't supposed to leave Grayskull. But, hey, they can do what they want to do with it. I can't say that, but doesn't mean I ain't going to bitch about it. That's true.
Well, we shall see how it turns out. I'm excited to see how the target audience will react to it. That's what I'm interested to see.
Now, I guess my next little bit of tidbit news would be they have the running time now for Dune. 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's about as expected, and I think that's a perfectly fine running time.
Yeah.
Given the story that they're covering in the movie, it's like just half the book, so I think that's a very fine running time.
And I want to thank Mr. Nelson for this lovely piece of art. Of
Yeah.
Orko D2.
Robo Orko.
Orko D2.
Orko D2. Nice.
Love it.
Very nice. All right. With that, double back again. Good length. That's what she said.
Yeah.
With that, we are then fully caught up. I think that we have discussed pretty much everything there is to discuss about the Eternals and Masters of the Universe at this point. Masters of the Universe, obviously, the new one obviously isn't made for us, so the final verdict will be by kids much, much younger than us. But we should be right to the target audience for the Eternals, and that no one here are really interested in it is kind of concerning, and that everyone seems to mislike the Jack Kirby style is only goes to show that they may have chosen wrong. Let's see how blown away people are by the natural lighting in it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I just want to say we lost Sonny Shiba yesterday, which is very sad.
Yes.
Great actor. He will be missed. So, yeah, too bad.
Be missed.
Sonny Chiba.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and Joachim Stark, he sent us money. Swedish.
Nice. Nice.
Hey,
So,
just cutting right to the chase.
Yeah. Well, we'll cut right to the chase for that in Swedish even. Tack så mycket.
There you go. And double back again, ask the eternal question: how many fucks were given? None, I believe. But they wanted a cartoon earlier, something about South Park. So should we maybe just play one of my He-Man cartoons real quick, just to give them something at least?
First, I just have to say hi to it's Courtney's Fellowship of Outlaws. Well,
Hello.
Yeah, hello to everyone.
Courtney.
And, yeah. And Super Straight has a question before we do that.
Sure.
Why did they race swap Tila? They have Clamp Champ and Sir Laserlock. Yeah, but here's like the thing. Tila is a problematic redhead, and you can't have those anymore. I mean, I think it was like a bitter pill for many to swallow that she was in the Revelation series.
I'm confused. She was race swapped?
She's black now.
Yeah, Tila is black now in the new in this 3D animated thing. She was a redhead in the Kevin Smith series, but in this one, she's now.
So I was right and wrong that she's the sorceress. She is the sorceress when she powers up, but she's Tila when she isn't. So whatever.
Yeah.
And Matt Vader, we missed you guys, and we wish we were out in Vegas last week, man.
Yeah,
Looks like
we
you guys
missed
had a lot of
ourselves
fun.
there as well.
Culture was there though. Everybody got to touch his hair. Does that mean you're blessed if you touch your hair, Culture? I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt us moved in some way when they got to do that. Absolutely, Matt Vader, it was great privilege to meet him, and Matt Kadish and Alex and all the crew. You know, everybody there. The lovely lady with the red hair. It was fantastic. I couldn't say enough. Cannot wait for everybody to get together at the very next event, because hey, I'd like to see and meet Andre. A lot of people will probably think a lot of people probably think we're related, I would imagine. So we'll see.
Lost brothers at birth.
Oh,
there was like a moment where I was gonna hop in the car, but
I thought you did and went and stole Drunk 3PO's hat and then came back.
He did. It's hanging up there in the
back.
Oh
shit! I was supposed to say that out loud. I'm sorry.
On the wall. It's hanging on the wall behind him. Look at it.
No, it's a different one.
It just looks. It looks just like it.
That's Paulie. He comes to your house and he steals your hat and leaves.
Yeah, this is a kind of a Mexican kind of almost like a stovetopy type of Panama. Whereas this is a more of a campesino country Panama hat.
Yeah, you're getting nowhere near my Panama, bro. Ain't happening.
I'm just saying, man.
Hat thief.
Well, we had some hat talk there. Brian Barth wants to know how Kevin Feige felt when New Gods was canceled. Probably when Sylvester Stallone how he felt when he realized that Schwarzenegger got him with "Stop or My Mama Shoot." There, I can use the analogy, right?
Yes, go for it.
I just did. Son of a bitch, he tricked me. That stupid bastard tricked me into doing this movie.
That apparently is how their rivalry begun, because Schwarzenegger, he likes to fight.
Watch, I can get this stupid son of a bitch to do this stupid fucking movie. Watch. Yeah, I'll do Stop with My Mom and Shoot on $3 million. Watch, Sly's gonna do it for $2.
Well, it's a low budget film there, Arnold. It's a low budget.
You said I
movie.
get to work with Estelle Getty. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I feel like she's a golden girl. She's a golden girl in the industry that we never get to work with enough, you know?
Wow.
Well, their culture, they got a big mouth. You know that?
You got a big mouth.
There's no doubt about that.
You got a big mouth.
You got some big hair. You got big hair. It looks like a wig there. Some big hair.
And speaking of Matt Vader, did get to touch that hair.
Yeah, that was an easy deterrent for me. I don't want to be a party pooper, but since I really don't party anymore, it was like
I thought you were going to say touching culture's hair here. I didn't think you were going for the alcohol part of it, but I understand now that you're going there.
The touching culture's hair kind of became a thing. I saw that it was like an organic thing.
I thought that's where you're going. It's like I didn't want to have to touch his hair.
No, I know, Tom, but I knew that people will be partaking in having a lot of fun. So
not me. I didn't drink at the either event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a sober driver, so if I'm
Gary
driving
is
people,
too?
I won't touch any.
Gary is too, and Jeremy as well.
All right. Willie Woodward says, "Culture. When is this event, Paulie? It's an epic Pip Daddy Panama hat."
Yeah.
As soon as I know, I'll share when the next one's going to be, because I'm sure we'll all probably hear it at the same time.
I was hearing something about Florida, so I don't know.
I've been hearing that, and Texas.
I am not privy to all the goings on. So yeah. Anything else, Andre, before we get to some koalas in the rain?
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick check here to see if we missed anything in the meantime here. I think we no, we are all good and fully caught up.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for making this another glorious week here at Midnight's Edge. Who knows what will happen on Mead this weekend? I'm sure we'll pop up at some point or two. Paulie, anything coming up real quick you want to plug?
Yeah, we're gonna do a Sunday morning fun show. Well, I don't know how fun it will be. We'll see who comes on by.
Oh wow.
Maybe we'll do some karaoke.
Way to sell it there, Paulie. I don't know how much fun it'll be, but you come by anyway.
I don't know if you really want to watch it or not, but
it might be better than removing your fingernails with pliers.
If you're not doing anything else, or you're sitting in church and got a headphone set,
Right.
Are you guys gonna sing? Because I feel like I could.
We
sing.
might. I've been trying to get Paul. I got to get Paulie to. He's
honestly,
me.
I'm so karaoke burnt out.
Then you will not be invited next time, sir.
I just need a couple weeks of.
Fine.
You know what it is? Because that karaoke geek show just like burns me out.
I hear you, man. That's all right.
Yeah, we're not gonna go.
I got Valiant and Culture and a few other people I can probably ask.
Yeah. No, but I'll be supporting you somehow. Yeah, man.
All right, sounds good. Jack Beers is in the chat supporting us as well, who sends in $5, says, "Why can't we get a decent He-Man? Because it's in the title. It's problematic."
Well, it's
because it's called He and Man, and those are so there you have like the one pronoun that's problematic, and you have something that's definitely problematic, namely man, and where this stuff is being made, both of those are not too popular these days.
Skeletor may have a solution for that, though, Andre.
Oh boy.
Oh, He-Man. He-Man.
Skeletor.
That's a dumb name.
Huh?
He-Man. He-Man. It's like the same thing twice. Why don't you just call yourself Guy?
That never gets old.
No. So good.
Why don't he
Yeah.
just call himself Guy? Makes sense.
And also, before we round out completely, friend of the channel is having a live interview. That's Jace, fellow countryman and friend of the channel, that is right now in this moment having an interview with the great comic book creator Chuck Dixon. So head on over. Just click
Awesome.
that link there right now. Go click that link. I don't know. Do it again with.
Don't even think about it. Just click it. It's not porn. Trust
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Just click it. Live interview with Chuck Dixon. Go on a raid. Tell them Midnight Edge sent you and ask your questions to the great comic book creator Chuck Dixon, one of the greatest Conan comic writers, also, I might add. So yeah, head on over there and tell them we sent you. And with that, I believe it's time for Koalas in the Rain.
Yay!
I gotta find the button now.
Yeah, go for it.
Koalas in the
Where
rain.
is it?
We should do it. No,
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain.
That's Tom during Vegas.
I was crying in my pillar.
Right, we all were.